Stan Efferding and Keith Williams here with MD.com. We're down here at the Firehouse Restaurant in Venice, California. Just finished a workout and some photo shoots for MD.com over at the Mecca Bodybuilding Gold's Gym, Venice. Keith and I are down from San Jose, where we've been staying for, she's about 6-8 weeks now, training with Flex Wheeler. I'm from Seattle, Washington. Keith's from Minnesota. And we came out to train with Flex and get ready for our national shows. I'm getting ready for the Masters Nationals, which is next Friday. Gary Udit's show and Jim Annion's show out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Keith's getting ready for the Mr. USA, which is the week following down in Las Vegas. So we've spent the last 6-8 weeks, probably about 6 months training with Flex Wheeler, but the last 6-8 weeks every single day, 5 hours a day, really getting pounded, and so we want to talk a little bit about that today. Keith won Flex's show out in Minnesota, and that's where they first met. And then shortly after that, we went to the Ironman and sat down with Flex and watched the show and talked about getting ready for the Nationals for me and for the USAs for Keith. And we decided we'd go for it. So we started meeting Flex probably at least twice a month for a 4-day run. We'd come down and just get killed and go home and rest. And we did that for a few months and decided we were going to go all out and spend a couple months straight with him down there in San Jose. And so we've been down there every day working hard and really learning a lot, and have made incredible changes over the last year as a result of our work with Flex.
Training with Flex has been, quite the experience. I was just talking to people back home, and I told them, I said, I've been through many training camps, many track practices over my years of playing professional sports and high school sports, and I've never, ever have trained this hard for anything in my entire life. His just approach and the things that he just sends me, the sayings and where he gets my mind to go versus where it wants to go, it's just been, a mind-blowing experience. And just where I'm at now compared to where I was last year, I can't even compare the two. And just having him in my corner makes my confidence as far as what I'm doing, 120% stronger and tougher than any other year that I've competed in bodybuilding.
We actually met at the University of Oregon years ago when I was training U of O football players. And Keith had come out of Taft, and he was getting ready for to play football for, at the time he went to Minnesota. And so we spent that summer training. This was probably 13 years ago, I think. And we've stayed in touch ever since, and Keith has gone from being a 175-pound sprinter to a 195-pound running back to a 215-pound professional football playing running back to a 285-pound monster dieting down for 260 for a bodybuilding show. So we got back together and decided we were going to train together full time, to get back into this competing at a national level and try and get our pro cards for bodybuilding. Well,
when I sat down with Flex, I told Flex I trained really hard, and Flex was one of those things where you have to respect a man like that, because I talked to him, my girlfriend, I talked to him, and he said, I said, I train really hard, and I can't understand why I can't break into the top 5 of USAs, and and this, that, and other. And Flex says, I really want you to sit down. And he told my girlfriend, and she goes, I know he wants to do this, but this has to come from him. I want him to really sit down and think about, is this something he's ready to do? And now that being said, I understand what he's talking about, because his training has been brutal. And the posing has been brutal, meaning you think you train hard when you're by yourself. But are you willing to do what I say to get to where we need to take you and take you to that next level? And so he set that goal towards me, volumized training, my diet, just the eating alone, me trying to get 6-7 meals in a day, was the hardest thing ever. For about a couple weeks, I couldn't do it, and he'd call me every night, and he'd be like, you got to do it. You want this pro card? You want to be a professional bodybuilder? This is what it takes. In my ear all the time, and he's like a nagging mother or parent. He's always on you. But at the end of the day, I got up to 287, stayed very lean this off season as far as my conditioning and stuff was concerned, and put on the size, and I think made the gains and improvements in my back and my legs, and just my overall aesthetic, the overall aesthetic look of myself and where I need to be as far as turning pro this year at the USAs.
Flex changed everything for us. It completely changed our concept of training. I've been training for 24 years. I've studied exercise science. I trained pro athletes. I was still power lift on a national scale. I'm #1 ranked raw power lifter in the country right now. But when I went down and started training with Flex, everything changed. And we sat down. This is kind of a funny story with Flex. Is we came running down here thinking we were going to hear all the secrets and all the tricks of the trade from Flex. So I had my yellow pad of paper out and my pen, and we were all excited. And we sat down right here at the firehouse. This was many months back, and we thought Flex was going to let us in on the behind the curtain that the Wizard of Oz was operating over there. And after an hour of sitting down with Flex, we both looked at each other and said, "That sounds like a lot of work." and really that's what it was. And Keith and I mean, we've trained since we were young very hard. Powerlifting, bodybuilding. Keith's been a track athlete, competed in the Olympics, pro football, but nothing could have prepared us for what we were about to go through with Flex. Whatever you may have heard, whatever videos you may have seen, Flex meandering over in the corner, not training hard, that isn't what really happened. Trust me, that's not what happened. He changed everything about our diet, about our recuperatory requirements as far as resting. Our mental focus was huge. The training was outrageous. Changed everything for us. And I mean, just a brief example, last year I competed at 223 and won the Emerald Cup up in Seattle, the overall at that show. And I'm 268 today. 45 pounds heavier in the same condition in 1 year. Well, actually 6 months, because that's what I've been training with Flex. And that came from a comprehensive approach of the way he trains us, the way we eat. Everything changed for us, and we got really aggressive about it, and that's paying off dividends for us, I think.